Anyone can learn investing, and here are some steps to get you started. Hi guys, Stanley here. I'm the co-founder of valueinvestasia.com, an investment portal where we'll give you investment news and also in-depth analysis of listed company every single week. So if you're new to this channel, remember to hit that subscribe button so you will not miss out on any of our videos. If you're just starting out in investing, the last thing that you should do is to rush and buy your first stock. Because building a long-term successful portfolio is like building a skyscraper. We must first create a strong foundation before building upwards. In the same way, we have to create a strong foundation within us before building up our portfolio. Much of this foundation has to do with our mind. We first have to prepare ourselves mentally on what is needed from us to be successful in investing and what we can expect from investing in the stock market. When we want to learn a new skill, the first step is always to learn from the people who has already mastered that skill. So the first step, if you want to be wealthy, is to learn from the wealthy. And the wealthiest people in the world can easily be found from the Forbes list. I spent a lot of time looking through this list and understanding how each individual make their wealth. And what I found is that most self-made billionaires typically hold their wealth in stocks. And the main bulk of their wealth does not come from trading these stocks, but rather just holding on to them for decades. That shows that wealth is not created by our action of trading stocks, but rather our inaction of holding on to great companies. On top of that, sustainable wealth is not created overnight. It takes time and patience, most likely over a few decades. In our culture, we like to equate action to results. The more action that we put in, we expect to get more results. That may be true if we're trying to learn skills like tennis or piano. But in investing, the opposite seems to be true. The people who are truly successful in investing are the ones that trade the least. Another thing we can notice is that most of this wealth are created from high quality businesses. The richest people in the world are owners of world-class business like Amazon and Alphabet. But in the stock market, we tend to hear investors focusing more on the valuation of a stock, the importance of buying low and selling high. Yet, the true wealth are created by just investing in high quality businesses and letting them grow and grow. Company like Amazon has appreciated more than 400 times over the past 20 years. If we're constantly worried about the valuation and wanting to buy low and sell high, how many times do you think that we must buy low and sell high in order to reach that kind of return in our portfolio? Next, we need to align our expectation for our investing journey in the future. It can be exciting to imagine investing in the next Amazon or Tesla, but that's just the performance of one stock. If we're planning to invest for the long term, it might be quite unrealistic to grow our portfolio by 50% a year consistently. When we look at very successful investors like Carl Icahn or Bill Ackman, their long-term performance is only around 16% return a year. And even Warren Buffett, who has been investing for the past 70 years, has an average return of around 19% a year. So we should really come to a reasonable yet achievable expectation on how well we can do over the long term in the stock market. But the good news is that the stock market tends to increase in value over time. The Straits Times Index returned about 6.5% a year since 2002. And the S&P 500 Index has gained about 7 to 10% a year over the past 20 years. This means maybe we should have a target of our own portfolio somewhere between what the market can give us at around 6% a year to maybe us becoming the next Warren Buffett, making about 20% a year consistently. Next is something most of us don't want to think about. But if you're serious on getting on the investing path, one thing I can guarantee you is that you will lose money at some point of the journey. Investing is a game of probability, so nothing is certain. From whether a company can do well over the next year or the next decade, to how possible it is that we will see a recession over the next few years. This is why we build a portfolio with more than one stock, because it is impossible to be 100% certain on anything. If an investor is so confident about one stock and bet his or her whole fortune on it, it is not because he is so certain of that stock, but rather I would say that's just the ego speaking. It's no different of going into the casino and betting it all on red on the roulette table. You might still win, but that doesn't mean you're right, just mean you're lucky. And we don't really want to depend on just luck to build our long-term financial future. To do it in a more safely manner, we will need to build a more diversified portfolio. And with that, we will still make mistakes and lose money on some of our stock picks. For example, last year was a great year for the stock market. But when I look back at my portfolio, even though the entire portfolio has done well, I still lost money in about 20% of my stock. That will happen, and the key is for us to focus on the portfolio as a whole and not get too hung up on wanting to make money on every single trade that we make. Unlike Pokemon, it is impossible to catch them all. On the last point, I'd like to highlight a characteristic of how Warren Buffett invests and why it makes him so successful. Let's run through an example together. Say today you own 5 stocks, 3 of your stocks have declined 20%, while 2 of them has doubled. What will you do? For the most of us, the natural tendency is to sell the 2 stocks that have doubled so we can lock in our gains and hold on to the 3 stocks, hoping that they will recover. And since we haven't sold them, in our mind, we will not realize that loss, and we still think there's a chance to make back that money, right? But if we continue this behavior, what will happen to our portfolio? We will be constantly selling our winners to lock in our gains and then keeping our losers so that we do not have to realize the loss. And over time, our entire portfolio will just be filled with stocks that we are losing money on. By contrast to how Warren Buffett invests, looking at his portfolio, we can see that he is making money on almost all the stocks that he owns. Why is this the case? This is because he is keeping his winners and letting them grow larger and larger over time, while selling off his losers once he realized he has made a mistake. This is the exact opposite of how most people invest, and it should be a key lesson for us. It is far more profitable for us to keep our winners because great companies tend to continue to be great. And that is how he made over $100 billion from just investing over his lifetime. I hope that you have gotten value from this video. If you have, please give it a like and share it with a friend who you think might benefit from it as well. If you're ready to take the next step into investing, you can check out our free investing course at valueinvestasia.com/free course, where you can learn practical skills on investing like reading the financial statements to how to value a stock. Anyway, that's it from me. My name is Stanley. Till we meet again, invest safely.